So here's some drills that I think are helpful. Anytime you do them, you kind of have to do them full speed, especially the ball toss drill. I think that is one that the more you do it with the goalies, if they're not into it mentally, they don't really get much out of it if they just go through the motions. But if they're actually doing it really hard and really quick, I think they get a lot out of it. What it is you can partner up with goalies. That's what works best when they have partners, or it can be you if it's just one person. But where you tell them to take the other stick away, they don't need their stick. Take one step, put your glove down, take your glove off, put it down on the ground, step back, take your left step, left glove down, and step back. These are your markers for where you want to step and end up. Every time you make a save, you want to end up with your feet splitting those gloves, so you know that you're stepping on the right angles. You're stepping smooth, so you're not stepping short or stepping too long. It's the right angles. What it is, so Joe, if you want to, you can just sit right there. So I'm in my ready position here. Joe's going to toss the ball. I want to step, shuffle, and this is really important when you get your toes facing your partner here, because the ball is coming straight ahead. So if you throw it over here, all right, I want to make sure I make that save. My hips are around and my toes are pointing back to my partner who's tossing the ball, rather than making that save ending up like this, facing this way, rather than facing your partner. As you go, just toss it. You see guys do this and go through the motions. That's not going to help them at all. They got to be going at full speed. So quick shuffles to get there. Balanced. You want them to stop and pause, because that means they're balanced, they're in the ready position, and then step back and toss it back to your partner again. All right. When you can go, so as we do this, all right, you can switch it up. Then you'll get into different ways you can do it. So if I'm throwing it to Joe, all right, I can do fakes. So you just swing on a pendulum back and forth. So sometimes you throw it, sometimes you don't, which forces them to hold their ground, be on the balls of their feet, rather than their toes falling forward. They see that ball, they react to it, rather than falling forward and just guessing that that ball is coming. Another thing that you can do is do rapid fire. So do 5 in a row, where I make the save, I get back quick as possible, all right? And then be done. One thing that's important that we want to teach catching the ball rather than making stops is if he throws it to me, you hear that smack or that loud noise, that means I'm catching it in the palm, and I'm not having soft hands and controlling it. So when he throws it, I want to catch it in my fingers where there's no really noise, so you're having soft hands to control it. The other thing is, if you throw it on my low below my waist, I never want to make a save with my hand going down, because you're never going to make a save with your goalie stick going down like that. Anything below where your jersey says your name, your palm comes up. So if he throws it below my waist, right? Sorry. All right, I want to make sure that my hand comes underneath, catching it in my hand, rather than snatching it down like that. So it's important that you tell them your hand's your stick, keeping it up. If you have to go under, make sure your hand comes under, rather than snatching at it, going over top. You never want to snatch, you want to receive everything into your hands. Yeah.
I've heard you say multiple times that to get your feet square to the shooter. I've always referred to the shoulders. Is that, in your mind, is that the same thing?
Shoulders is the same thing, but your toes control your hips, which control your shoulders. So if my toe goes here, my shoulders aren't square to you, and it's easier to tell a kid to have my toes facing you rather than knowing him to throw his shoulders. So your toes control your hips, which controls your torso. So toes to the shooter means your whole chest square to the shooter.
Got it, thanks.
Next thing is a fun one that they can do, the hot potato. All right, so if we're playing, it's just you're playing taps. See how Joe had a loud noise in his palm? That's not good. All right, so if you have 3 people, you can throw each way you want, but it's important that they have soft hands. They get it in, get it out. They don't do this and throw it. All right, everything is kind of given with everything. So I'm getting my hand behind it. So if you had 3 people, 4 people, you can kind of throw it whichever way you want, as long as you're playing like taps version or soft hands. So you can throw it. It allows them to focus on that ball wherever it's going, and my kids kind of have fun with it. You can play pig, or if they drop it, they get a letter, and it just keeps them kind of having fun and involved. The next one is a colored ball drill. Alright, this one I think is very beneficial for kids when you're warming them up. Just have like 3 different colors, orange, yellow, and a white ball. Alright, if you have enough kids, you can have one goalie standing up there having all the balls in his stick. You fill it up in your stick, and you just turn and shoot. When you shoot, the goalie's got to call out the color of the ball before he makes a save. So that allows that means that goalie's actually focusing on the head of the stick, seeing the ball come out, and reacting to it, rather than watching something else or watching the eyes or not working on picking up the ball out of the stick right away. If you have one goalie, you can just put the balls down, tell the goalie to face the end line, tell him to turn, then he'll shoot, and then you can react and he'll call out the color. But that's just a way to reiterate forcing them to watch the ball come out of their stick every time they shoot. Line jumps, alright? Line jumps, old school basketball line drills, right? Every time you do them, make sure the goalie stays in the stance and have his right foot go over, but make sure that he doesn't drop his hands or do it, because you want to make sure that when you're tired, you're in your ready position, you're holding it here the whole time, doing line jump with your right foot, left foot, alright? You can do crisscross, a lot of different things that you know, but make sure they're holding their stance at all times. And then the last one for the lines, alright, if you get, anytime there's an intersection or a cross in the restraining line box and the 5th and the 30-yard line, that makes a square or a cross. Alright, that is a 90-degree angle. Alright, so if you split that or turn that, right, it's a 45-degree angle for you. So you can do this ball toss drills, or you can have them step the line. So when they step, their toes need to be in the line every time they set up. So if this is the line right here, this is my toes. The point is right in between my toes. When I step, my toes should end up on that white line so you can see their cleats in the white line. So it's a visual, so the kids know that they're doing it right, getting their hips around. So their toes are ending up in the white. So it actually gives them, when they step, they go, oh, I didn't do it right. Oh, okay, I did it right. So they can actually learn on their own and pick up on it, rather than you saying, nope, you didn't get your toes to me, and the younger kids not really knowing how to.
So that's something they can do, 2 goalies can do on their own.
Oh, you can do as many as you want. There's so many crosses all over the field, and they can do the ball toss where they go, or I just tell them get in their stance, make off stick side save, get back, stick side save, get back, and do quick ones and then rapid fire and switch it up as much as they go. But it's a way to really overemphasize getting their hips around, getting their toes facing the shooter.